Alright YouTube, this is Daniel and I am ready to test out the bench. Got this thing fully loaded. Here's my makeshift ATX button system, control system. Got your power switch, reset switch, power LED, and a second power LED. For some reason there is two power LED headers on the motherboard. I have no idea why. Also, I learned there's a case intrusion header on the board. So there's a switch where if you open the case, the computer will automatically shut off to avoid damage if in fact you do. So there's the Athlon 2. I hope I installed it correctly. I think I did. Blowing on a cheap, I think it's Antec. It's on the other side. Yeah, there it is. It's a cheap Antec fan. I got a micro center for a computer I was building, this one, and it did not fit at all. So I had that lying around. I just pulled it out, plugged it into the header on the motherboard. I got the RAM all hooked up, and I got the power supply. I don't have it plugged in yet. I'm going to use the keyboard. It's hooked up to the PS2 slot and a DVI monitor right here. Actually, right here. No, wait, right here, yeah. So, to test, I'm going to go back. I'm going to go ahead and plug in this thing, and hopefully the motherboard power supply should not automatically power on, because this outlet right above the power that goes into all this stuff down here, that one's plugged in, used by a switch on the wall. So right now that switch is off, and so is the power supply. The main switch is off for that, so I'm going to go ahead and plug it in carefully. So now there's power, no power yet. I'm going to go ahead and switch on the power for the power supply. Take a sorry for my language. I'm going to take a big step back just in case this thing blows up. So the moment I flick this switch, this thing is going to turn on in 3, 2, 1. Okay, that's a good sign. Nothing blew up. Very good sign. So right now there's power going into the whole system. Nothing's on. It's a good thing. So power is right now going through the whole motherboard. Oh, I forgot to plug in my floppy drive. I'm gonna boot into MS-DOS and see if it'll work. So right now power is going through that outlet into the power supply, which has not turned on, which is a good thing. I'm gonna go ahead and plug in my floppy drive real quick. We'll begin the power up. Alright, got the floppy drive hooked up. I got it hooked up on one of the USB 2.0 headers underneath the Ethernet card. I'm going to go ahead and pull out my floppy drive, my floppy DOS 6.22 floppy disks. We are also going to put in, we're also going to boot into Windows 1, if it can even boot into DOS at all. I think I'm sitting on my DOS, I think I'm sitting on my Windows DOS disk, yep. Heck, I set on my Windows 1.0 disk. I don't know if this will work, but we'll see. Alrighty. So, that power switch should turn things on. If it does not, I'm going to die. Alright, I'm joking. Alrighty, so I'm going to go ahead and switch into DVI. Power saving mode is on. So, crossing fingers. There's no hard drive hooked up, so that's why I don't have an LED for that. So, here we go. So the fan turned on. Good sign. I heard a beep coming from the keyboard, and we got a test message. It recognized the USB 2.0 floppy drive. It looks like I got those LEDs mounted incorrectly because that light should be on. Disk boot failure. Insert disk system and press enter, which I can understand because there's nothing in that disk drive and there's no hard drive attached. So it looks like it actually found everything. I'm going to go ahead and turn this off. Alrighty, so that's my makeshift computer. I'm going to go ahead and fix those LEDs real quick. Okay, I went ahead and flipped the connectors around. None of the LEDs lit up, so if my guess is correct, I don't know why there's two power LED headers, but they are labeled differently on the pins. They should power, both of those lights should turn on, the yellow and the green LED. Since it failed to boot from a drive the last time, I'm going to go ahead and pop in a DOS 6.2 disk in the floppy drive. Careful not to push anything around. There we go. Heard the drive made noise, so this thing still is on. using its on and off charge technology, this thing still actually pulls power when it's off. Alrighty, so now that we did that, I'm going to go ahead and pull my keyboard up. Windows 3 does have the ability to use a mouse, but we're going to use the keyboard to see if it even works. So let's go ahead and turn this thing on again. Second, power up 2, let's see if the LEDs work. And they do. Okay. Alright people, gave up on the MS-DOS idea, so I pulled out my Pioneer Blu-ray disc player, external disc drive, and I hooked it up to the USB 3 ports on that motherboard. We're going to go ahead and test my Ubuntu 14.04 long-term support 64-bit operating system. I've been meaning to try it out, but I didn't have any computers that would support the 64-bit architecture. I don't know if my Mac is, but this is an AMD version, so I'm going to go ahead and close the disk drive. As you can see, it is on because of the on and off charge system. It's already beginning to load the disk, so let's go ahead and boot this thing up and see if we can get it to run. I'm going to hit F12 and boot from the USB CD-ROM. So there it is, USB CD-ROM. Let's see if it works. It's a boot failure. Ah, jeez Louise, I don't know what is the problem. What could be the problem? Let me try a different operating boot. CD-ROM regular. Yeah, I had a feeling that wouldn't work. Alrighty, hold on a second. Okay, instead I'll try my Windows 8 Pro 32-bit installation I got off my school's website. I'm going to go ahead and turn the computer on, but this time when I turn it on, I'm going to go ahead and hit the F12 button with my elbow and close the disk drive at the same time. Okay, pressing down. Whoops. Okay. Whoa. So let's go ahead and maybe it doesn't use the USB 3.0 ports upon booting. Alrighty, let me get some troubleshooting done and I'll catch you back for a little bit. Okay, I got it. I don't know, I just hooked it up to the USB 2 ports. It's loading off the operating system. I'm gonna go ahead and shut it off. Okay, so I got it to load that copy of Windows 8. See if I can load Ubuntu into it now, because Ubuntu, you can actually run it from the CD-ROM, play around with the operating system. I'm going to go ahead and get some speakers out so I can go ahead and hear if it works or not. I do have some speakers right now at my desk, and I'm going to go ahead and plug them in. Catch you in a second. Alrighty, after some trial, I got a little iHome speaker out, plugged into the audio jack on the computer motherboard. So, let's close the disk drive. Let's begin to power up. Well, that's a good sign. Disk burn may have been successful. And now the computer should go ahead and load everything into RAM while it loads the Ubuntu operating system from the CD-ROM all the way into the RAM of the computer. With 8 gigs, it'll definitely have enough room to fill that all up. Oh, there's a bar. Now there's a cursor. Probably may not detect the mouse. cursor went darker. Keyboard still work? Yep. Oh, scroll lock key doesn't work. The enamel lock and the caps lock do work. Shouldn't have any internet because there is nothing connected into the audio, into the power jack, into the Ethernet jack. Oh gosh, oh yeah. Installation's definitely working. Oh, there's that sound. So the audio drivers were detected and it loaded the operating system. Alrighty, let's go ahead and go into the Ubuntu. Try Ubuntu out. It's going to exit out of the installer and go straight to the desktop. Alrighty, so after the camera on the tripod, so it'll be easier for me to use this thing. Alrighty, so right now we are on the Ubuntu desktop. For some whatever reason it shows little floppy disks down in this corner. It says floppy disk on it, I don't know why. So, detecting something that doesn't exist. Alrighty, maybe it's just a generic driver. Alrighty, so this is a Ubuntu desktop. Alrighty, let's go see if everything's been detected by finding Ubuntu's preferences. States 450, probably closer to 4:51 p.m. Alrighty, so details is what we need. So we don't need to test the sound, I already know that works. Alrighty, there it is. So it detected the 8 gigs of RAM that's in the computer. Detected the graphics card, the Gallium 0.4 on AMD 7 RS780, which I actually did not know that. I thought this was a Radeon, which ATI makes, a ATI Radeon 3000. Well, I don't know. Anyway, it detects the processor as the AMD Athlon 2 X2 250 processor X2 times 2, which is the dual core, 3.9 gigs, and it's the 64-bit OS because this is a 64-bit processor. Alrighty, so that detected all that stuff. Let's see if it has Alrighty, system monitor shows that the disk drive is being used a lot and its temporary file system is being used 100%. CPU is at 8.9% and the second core CPU is at 7%, so that's dual core CPU. Both of them are not really being processed at the moment. I wanted to pull this up to see what the CPU looks like under its current load. I don't want to do any gaming on this because I have no idea if it'll work or not. About 647 megs of that RAM has been taken up already. No Linux swap right now. I'm going to go ahead and set that up when I format my 1 terabyte drive. Here, let me zoom in on that control of the system box. There's the CPU 1 and the CPU 2. I guess it only spikes when it's something massive happens. That's the memory swap right now. The swap is not available because there's no Linux swap partition yet. I'm going to put that on the 1 terabyte drive when I get it. Network history should be completely 0 because there is no network card on it at all. If we did have a network card, I would probably test a couple things out. Alrighty. That is the Ubuntu operating system running on my test bench. As you can see, it is awesome. I don't know why, but this kind of looks like one of the AeroCool cases. I think it's a Strike X model that actually has like this kind of design where everything's all open from the case. So anyway, that is the test bench and all this parts except for that little fan right there and the test ATX systems. Those are all going into my case. I will see you later, and thank you for watching. Let me do a power down video right now. Should automatically shut the whole thing down. Okay. Wow, that was instant. That just cut off. Wow. That was amazing. And, yep, thanks for watching, and leave a comment below if you have one. Oh, and by the way, before I go, I touched the power CPU to see how hot it was. It is pretty hot. Ow, dang it. Ow, 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 ow. I'm going to need to let that cool before I can pull that out of the socket. So, never try that. If you have a test and you don't have a heatsink, don't do it until you get one. I don't think I messed up the processor. It's just recommended in the future because I don't know how hot that thing is. And believe me, it hurts my finger. Alright, lesson learned. Never test anything with a CPU on a motherboard like this without a heatsink. Ever. Unless you want to go about damaging your CPU. Alrighty, again, leave a comment if you have one, and see you all later in the next video where I demonstrate the dead silent fans.